Welcome to Learn the Sword. I've had a few students ask me questions about how to sheathe the sword and what are the best ways. Remember, depending on what style you belong to, or what style you practice or choose to practice, the sheaths can be completely different. But remember one thing, in practical application, all you need to remember is getting the tip inside the sheath and pulling out, making it look good without cutting your hands, fingers, or appendages. What I'd like you to work on then is some simple basic sheaths. And you go, well, how many sheaths should I learn? Depending on the angle of the sword, when you finish executing the cut, you can easily go into a sheathing position from there. Although most students who learn the beginning of Iaito or drawing the sword, they follow a set pattern that takes them back to a certain position to put away the sword. But if you think about it, in practical application, when the sword is finished, its trajectory and its angle of attack and its cut, then go from there and put away the sword. It takes it into a different meaning. For example, if I come over here and just get a regular Iaito, and today I figured that a really light 980 gram Iaito will probably work best. Just put it into your belt, and let's practice this a little bit. Let's remember that if we keep our hands over this way, over the koeguchi, and use it as a facade, cradle the handle like this, and just draw the sword very easily. As a general rule, there are three basic sheaths: a vertical sheath, of course a diagonal sheath, the one we usually use the most, and if you're practicing seizatoho or on your knees, for example, then you use a horizontal sheath, for example, this way. And if you look at it, there's a lot of room in between, a lot of gray area. So don't think that it has to be perfect here, or it has to have a perfect angle there, or it has to be perfect down here, because even though you have a perfect angle one time, doesn't mean the second sheath will be perfect. So just go with the flow a little bit, but remember, make it smooth. So let's pull the sword out and just bring it back in as a diagonal, just like that. Or we pull it out like this, and then I take my hand and I reverse my hand like this and let it drop and bring it into the sheath. A lot of times when we're sheathing and we bring our hands this way, overhand like this, and bringing it back, it's a little difficult. But if we take the sword, bring our hand this way, reverse our hand, let it drop, and let it sit on top of the koeguchi this way, now we have the weight of the handle and the blade on your hand, and this way you can just easily bring your hand out and let the blade guide itself into the koeguchi. Watch it again. I pull it out, I reverse my hand, I bring it in like this, and it makes it a lot easier to sheath. So if you're having difficulty with your sheathing process and you're bringing it back this way and it's just feeling horrible or it just doesn't feel good, just reverse engineer it. And bring it in on a reverse engineer with a reverse hand here, and just let it drop down, fall onto the koeguchi, and then just bring it out this way. And you'll find out after a little time, you'll go, oh, that's how that works. So here's what I want us to try. Out, reverse hand, back. Out, back, this way, at a different angle. Out, reverse hand, out, back. So practice this, just at any angle. Matter of fact, if you're in your dojo, or if you're in your room, or if you're outside, just move in a little forward like this, and then adjust with a cut, not a strong cut, but draw the sword out as you are making a cut, and then just bring the sword back and put it away. And bring it out this way and put it away. And just practice it till you become fluid. You might want to throw out a few different cuts like this, and then bring in the sword this way. throw out a cut this way, and just bring it back normally. Throw out a cut, reverse hand, bring it up this way. And practice this over and over and back and forth until it becomes easy to do. It shouldn't take a long time. Matter of fact, bringing this around, just bring your hand here, you'll immediately feel like, wow, this is pretty fun and it's pretty easy to do. Just experiment it. But remember, when you experiment with a lot of different techniques like this, sheathing techniques, make sure you're not using a real sharp sword, because sometimes your fingers get in the way and we don't want any injuries that way. Again, if you are only using a very sharp sword, don't fear the blade. Take an emery cloth, take the edge right off. And then after hundreds, if not thousands of these sheaths and pulls and sheaths, then take the stone and put the edge back on your sword, and you'll be surprised at how much better you'll be able to manipulate that blade to your target.